Welcome back to Coleman Edge to Edge. Curtis Coleman and Tammy Griever with you on this kind of chilly day in November.
A little bit for Little Rock.
A little bit chilly for Arkansas in November, actually. And we've got two great guests coming up in the show today.
I'm excited.
A little bit later today, Philip Fletcher.
It's one of those liberty-loving programs.
It is a liberty-loving day, right.
Philip Fletcher.
Yeah, this is not a lily-livered liberal day. This is a liberty-loving day. Say that.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm going to try
I can't say it again, so I'm done.
I'm going to try to say Philip Fletcher again.
Yes,
I got that one.
Right. I actually couldn't say oil.
All oil.
All oil from Venezuela yesterday. So I probably can't say it today either. But we're excited to have Jason Reeves with us today.
Yes.
Jason is the author and administrator of a fascinating Facebook page called Conservatarian Arkansas. Jason, welcome to Coleman Edge to Edge. We have been reading your stuff, sir.
Enjoying it immensely.
And enjoying it. You didn't think anybody was
I didn't think anybody was
Well, there you go. You never know, do you? But we're thrilled to have you. Now, you're from Grant County, which is where Sheridan is, but you're from Leola, which is south part of Grant County.
Southwestern corner.
Okay.
So nice to know that people all the way down at every corner of our state are paying attention to conservative values. I mean, we think sometimes that we're alone here in this Little Rock bubble, but we're not.
We're not.
We're not. In fact, y'all are writing about this bubble and wanting to pop it a lot of the time. Yes.
Okay. You made several predictions, and I'm going to let Tammy do this.
Well, I got to ask the first question.
Okay, go ahead, Tammy.
What is a conservatarian?
A conservatarian would be somebody who doesn't fit into maybe the Republican Party very well, and also doesn't really fit into the Libertarian Party very well.
Okay.
I consider
a hybrid.
Something like that.
Okay.
And so there's two wings right now in the Arkansas Republican Party. There's the folks that are more liberal Republicans, and they're the more conservative Republicans, and I think the more conservative Republicans are the ones that would identify with this group. You know, I'm not willing to switch parties. I think the Republican Party is the party that we have to work within. The Libertarian Party, for those of us who have any bit of social conservatism and are opposed to abortion, you know, they just don't take a hard enough line against abortion.
So you like the platform, basically, of the Republican Party, but maybe not how they administer that platform or what it translates into once all the opinions have attacked it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you sound like one of
a lot of us. You do indeed, Jason.
No.
Okay, you made several predictions before the election.
Yes.
And we're gonna ask our readers. We're gonna present this question to our viewers. I say our readers, our viewers today. And we're going to just let you answer these questions, anticipate what your answers would be.
Right.
And then we're going to come back and ask you the question after the interview and see what you think.
That's right.
Okay. And here is something from Jason. He said, Arkansas has the first unobstructed avenue in office to create beneficial changes to our schools, economy, and health care. When the next election comes around, that's the one that was last week, will Arkansans be shocked by the great changes in our – oh, no, the one that comes next. I'm sorry. Will Arkansans be shocked by the great changes in our state? If they're not, then they couldn't tell the difference between the GOP and DNC, the Democratic Committee, Democrat Party. So
we're asking you. Do
you
you think at the end of this midterm election results,
right, the results of what happened,
that we're going to end up with
great changes in the state?
Changes, or is it all going to look like a mishmash of GOP, DNC? Can't tell the difference. Who is who?
Right.
And the red suddenly turns purple.
Right.
So what do you think? What do you think?
So we're gonna ask you about that. So we're gonna ask Jason about that too. And this is not exactly what Jason predicted. Let me be clear. But based on his predictions that we're going to read today, which we thought were, it's really what got our attention.
It got our attention, and it put a little fear in our hearts because this was not the hope of any Republican, and it's not the hope of Jason either that these predictions may come true.
So we're going to go down through these.
Okay.
And Jason made these before the November 4th election.
It was a day before, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the day before.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and read the first one.
Sure.
Number one, here's what Jason said. Republicans will get a clean sweep in Arkansas. this man may be a prophet, for possibly the first time ever, but definitely the first time in 150 years, all state-level offices and Arkansas's entire congressional delegation will be Republican. There will be much hooping and hollering, plus plenty of gnashing of teeth from the Democrats.
Jason, what do you believe
Jason?
Was the single most impactful maybe factor that swept the Republican election?
I think it was the successful tying of the Democrats to Obama's agenda, specifically to Obamacare. And I think we had several of our state legislators. We had state legislators. Sorry, we had Scott Flippo win based on opposition to the private option. We had John Cooper up in Northeast Arkansas win based on opposition to the private option. We had several state legislators, turn over seats that had been.
A lot of incumbents lost offices.
Right, because of opposition to the private option. And so I think that health care and Obama were the two biggest issues overturning this election.
Jason, we got about 10 seconds left in this segment, so let us come back and pursue that in the second segment. Curtis Coleman and Tammy Griever, we're visiting with Jason Reeves of Conservatarian Arkansas. We'll be right back.
For the first time in Arkansas, there is one television station that reaches every corner of the state. And Arkansas's first full-time commercial internet television station is leading the way into a new dimension of television, viewing, and advertising. The number of people watching TV on the internet grew by over 246% over the last year alone. AR1.TV offers Arkansans an opportunity to watch Arkansas-based programming over their internet-ready TVs, computers, and smartphones. And now AR1.TV offers you the opportunity to reach your customers through cutting-edge statewide television for a limited time at low introductory prices. Call us today at 501-232-2457 to find out how incredibly affordable statewide television can really be. AR1.TV, your voice in Arkansas.
Welcome back to Coleman Edge to Edge. Curtis Coleman and Tammy Griever with you today. We're visiting with Jason Reeves, who is the administrative author and fascinating writer and contributor to a Facebook page called Conservatarian Arkansas. You're going to want to look that Facebook page up because I got to tell you, you're going to be really interested and fascinated by what Jason and others have to say. Before the election, before the November 4th election, Jason predicted there would be a clean sweep in Arkansas for Republicans, that they would have all the constitutional offices and that they would, all the federal offices, congressional offices would all be
and
Republican.
And there was.
And he was exactly right.
Yes.
So we're asking him about those predictions.
The
Tammy?
Democrats, you predicted there would be gnashing of teeth. What kind of indication do you have right now that they might be just in a state of mourning or shock, or where do you think they are today?
You know, I was in the Grant County courthouse on election night, and our Democrat, I think I want to say the county judge and the county treasurer that are Democrats, they were looking at the tote board in the lobby area of the election returns coming in, and every single precinct in Grant County was coming back 2-1 roughly for the Republicans for every single race, except for one precinct which identifies more with Pine Bluff. But these two lifelong Democrats were looking at the results, just dumbfounded.
They've never seen this before.
They said, I really thought James Lee Witt had a chance. and so they were kind of in a state of shock. I was just reading while I was waiting to come on the show. In the Arkansas Times, I read the piece by Max Brantley right after the election, and he said, first of all, let's start out with what's good. They passed a library tax in some town, some rural town, and
we're going to be taxed more.
The minimum wage increase passed, and so they were just grasping at straws to try to find some lemonade to make out of the lemons that they were served.
You are absolutely right. The second prediction you made,
and
Jason.
And these get really more interesting now, they think.
Oh, yeah.
I think there were a lot of people who predicted that the sweep,
Right.
but now Jason takes on his own unique.
Yes, he does. The second prediction, all of the local politicians who are weak on principle but strong on survival, who have run as Democrats all these years just so they can get elected, will switch to the Republican Party just so they can get elected. They will not change their principles. They will just change the letter by their name. Any idea how we can do a better job at determining who runs as our chosen candidates?
That is a big that's a big question, and I don't know that I have the answer to it. I think it's more of a question of GOP leadership in the state and at the county level, and I'm the county chairman currently in Grant County.
Oh, thank you for your service.
And so the one thing that we've been told is we can't prohibit anybody by party rules and by state law. We can't prohibit anybody from running for political office as a Republican. If Bill Clinton wanted to come back to the state and run for governor as a Republican, if he wasn't term limited,
right,
then he could do it, and nobody could stop him.
Right.
And what's left, the options that are left are to disavow the candidate or to root for the opponent, and so it's extremely limited what we can do. And I don't know that we want to change the protections that we have in law for that, but
perhaps we're just left with encouragement and education.
Yeah, well, definitely education.
Yeah.
Education is
Should there be required reading for anyone who wants to run on the Republican Party? Do you think they should read that platform?
How about the platform?
The platform would be good. Yeah, you need to read the platform and agree with it. But regarding the folks that might switch to Republican just to get the job, I've spoken to so many county level folks and city level folks that are serving in Arkansas, and they're Democrats, and you talk to them, and they're church going folks.
Right.
They've got conservative values but they identify just out of a sense of stubbornness with the Democratic Party, and because they think that they can't win any other way. A lot of these people, I believe, are going to switch to the Republican Party just so that they can win, because they believe that everybody wants to be on the winning team. And we've got to do a good job of educating these folks. This is what conservatism means. This is what we need to put forth as our message.
Okay, prediction number 3,
Number
Curtis.
3. This is one of the third of Jason's 3 predictions. Before the November 4th election, he wrote on his Facebook page, Conservatarian Arkansas, since the state GOP has done absolutely nothing to stem the rise of progressivism within its ranks to date. And let me just also remind folks that Jason is the chairman of the Republican committee in Grant County.
Yes.
He says it will be utterly powerless to stem the influx of politicians who merely want an R beside their name but have no idea what conservatism is. The state party will move closer to the center, if not completely over the center line towards the left.
That's the one I really hope I'm wrong about.
I hope you are too. Do you believe that our voters are possibly as gullible as our electorate? I mean, this is kind of a scary thing, because I'm hoping that our voters will hold those that they elected accountable.
Yes, and I'm what I was talking about when I was saying about the state GOP not doing very much to stem the rise of progressivism. The state GOP was pretty much silent when it came to the issue of the private option.
Right.
I believe
Officially they were. Yes.
They were.
And so there were no press releases. There was nothing that was this is what the state GOP believes.
Well, I will say that I did hear our state chair Doyle Webb say that it was that the private option was not a Republican value. I heard him at one dinner of the many I attended.
Yeah.
So I was glad to hear it at least once.
Yes.
We need to hear it more.
Yes, but with the with more folks that are maybe of a more liberal bent, more of a bringing pragmatism into
Yes.
the party. We're going to have to fight against this, and we're going to have to fight against it with strong leadership. We're going to have to
Right.
fight against it with education.
Yes.
And getting people need to know, what does our federal constitution say? What does our state constitution say? What are our laws?
That's why we're here.
That's why
Let's
we're-
get to
number
number
four,
four, because
Tammy.
I don't want to
Number
miss out.
four, right.
Many will cheer and say that after 150 years, the GOP has finally arrived in Arkansas, and we can start getting things done. Unfortunately, the GOP will have arrived in Arkansas the same way the Donner Party arrived in California, with a shallow, numeric, Pyrrhic victory. The preeminence of the GOP in Arkansas will not result in the preeminence of conservative values in Arkansas government. That date will be further in the future and may or may not happen via the Arkansas GOP. Wow, do you see any indication that the incoming class of legislators have an agenda for positive change?
The incoming class of legislators is we've like we were talking about before, we've replaced a lot of legislators that were more moderate with ones that are more conservative.
This is encouraging.
That is good. And what I was talking about there was, we get these folks that join the Republican Party that have no idea what conservative means, but they've been serving as Democrats all their life, and they decide to switch to the winning team. And so we get those folks in there, and we can say, hey, we've got all these numbers. Cleveland County, a neighbor to Grant
Yes.
County, they had a lot of people down there before this election switch parties in Rison, and I think even on the Quorum Court down in Cleveland County. And these people have been Democrats all their lives. Is their change genuine? I hope so. I hope that folks that might change to the Republican Party that have been serving as Democrats all these years, I hope that their change is genuine, but we have to do a good job of educating them. Okay, you're going to be part of our club, and it's not just a letter to put by your name. There's some principles that go along with it.
Well, Jason, I have to get in this last question. Do you believe it will be the governor, or do you think there will be a more powerful person or a more powerful force that leads a positive change with the Republican Party, if there is any positive
Jason,
change?
we've only got about 10 seconds, so.
I think it's got to be up to the county committees, and it's got to be up to the state committee in order to make a change in the party.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
We've
so
been
much.
visiting with Jason Reeves, County Republican Chairman in Grant County. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. There's a lot more we want to talk about. We'll get you back.